A new farmer visited his farm in the night, backyard farm. Then, in the middle of the night, he noticed the fish were swimming around the pond. He couldn't exercise patience because he was worried. Then he called me and asked me, Abdul Aziz, I check my fish right now and they're just swimming around. Why? Is it because of the light is there? And I said, yes, that's normal. So now, a lot of people are confused as to whether it is advisable to have light at your farm in the night. Some believe it's good, it makes the fish grow faster, whilst others also believe that it is bad because it stresses the fish. Which one is the truth? In fact, in this video, we shall look at the pros, cons, and the best practice of how to keep or whether you are supposed to keep light at your farm in the night or not. If you are new to this channel, my name is Abdulaziz Issa. All we do in this channel is to share special tips based on our experience and research. So please, if you have not subscribed, let's subscribe and let's dive in details. First of all, let's look at the advantages of keeping lights at your farm in the night. First and foremost, for security reasons. When the farm is brighter, if any person who comes close to the farm, you see the person. And for that matter, these people will not also want to come closer. So it will drive these thieves away. Under the security reasons, if you are intending to install CC cameras or cameras to monitor your farm, if it is dark in the night, you might not be able to monitor the place very well. So making it brighter, the camera can capture everywhere for you to monitor. So this is one of the reasons why keeping lights in the night at your farm is important. Another thing which is also important is that when the light is there, it sometimes gives supplemental feed to the fish. You might be surprised. I'll break down to you. Now, if you monitor where light is in the night, there are certain periods, especially during rainy season, you will find insects to be around the light. Sometimes when you even get there, the insects fall on you. So now if your pond, there's light close to the pond, these insects fall into the pond. And when they fall in there, most of them, the fish consume them. And that serves as supplemental feed to complement the feed that you are giving them. Another advantage of having light at your farm in rare situations is feeding. I said rare situation because most farmers, including myself, do not feed fish at the night. But some people, especially large and commercial farms, they do feed them in the night. So having light there is able to make you to monitor what you are feeding them. For them, even if there's no light and you give them feed, they can still see the feed they eat. But you, the one feeding, cannot tell how they eat. So the lights will be able to make you to monitor what they're eating or not. Have a look at these three importance or benefits or pros of having light at your farm in the night. Let's look at the cons. Indeed, many people believe that light makes the fish to swim 24 hours without resting, and that leads to slow growth. To some extent, this is true, but not applicable to all situations. I'm saying to some extent because I know farms that have lights all over and the fish are doing well. There are farms where lights are not there and the fish are not doing well. But I also said it is to some extent true because if you actually monitor the fish in the night and there's light, most of the times they swim because they react to the lights. And when they swim throughout, they become stressed, and when they become stressed, they can't grow. But come to think of this, if the light is there, even fish, they don't rest like we humans, lie down and sleep. No. But they also rest. They will slow down their movement, be on the bottom quietly. Mostly that's how they rest. But they are used to the natural way. And the natural way is that light in the daytime, darkness in the night. And for that matter, they are used to sleeping or to resting in the night when it is dark and swimming in the day. So provided the light, which is indication that it's still brighter or still day, for them to keep swimming, is stressing them. But despite that, even if there's light, they still rest. But they do more swimming or more movement than resting. That's why I said to some extent this is true. Let's also look at this scenario. The light, when it is around, it also brings some insects or microorganisms that can also feed on the fish, serve as predators. It also attracts them. In as much as it brings insects as supplemental feed, it also brings insects or other living organisms that can also predate or consume the fish. So in that case, it has both advantages and disadvantages over there. But what you have to note is that it is good to keep the light for you and keep darkness for the fish. I hope I've not confused you. Let me explain myself. Keeping light for you as a farmer. What I mean is that you can have the light, but the light will help you for security reasons, like I mentioned earlier, to help you for fish farm management. But leave the pond dark for the benefit of the fish. That's what I'm trying to say. Just yesterday, I received a call from one of my mentors, Dr. Derek. He's an old man and he's very experienced in fish farming and poultry. Now, he called me and he asked me, Abdul, I'm going to take some fish from my pond and they're very stubborn. It was even daytime. What do you think? I recommend to him that he can reduce the water level, use a scooping net to make it easier. And he said, no, he doesn't want to do that. That he is thinking of using torchlight or light to point at a particular point and harvest them. I said, Daddy, I'm learning something new from you. How does that work? And he said, the fish, they react to light. So when you point light at a particular location in the night, the fish, they, they all come there. Now, if you intend to harvest, then when they come, you can get some. I said, I've learned something new. I never knew of this. That you can point lights, touch lights at a location, the fish will come, then you monitor or you harvest or whatever you want to do. That is how we learn. I'm sharing with you purposely for you to also learn. Now, that is one of the reasons why I said use the lights for you as a farmer benefits and leave the darkness for the fish. And how do you do this? And that brings us to the best practice. The best way to practice this, that is keep the light for you as a farmer and keep darkness for the fish. To do this, I will recommend few ways. First of all, position the lights in a way that It will not be directly on the pond where all the brightness is on the pond. You can position it in a way the place is brighter, but where the pond is a bit dark, so that if any person is around or someone comes around, either a thief or whatever, in the night, you can see the person. If you have CC cameras around, you can see the person, or it can work perfectly. That is one way. Another way is that you can keep the light, but not too brighter. No, the bulbs or the lights, there are some that are brighter than others. So get those that are less brighter, so that it will not be too much bright to affect the activities of the fish. Second one. So now third, you can also keep sensors or use lights that are motion sensors, so that it only turns on based on condition or based on movement. You know, there are certain lights, they make it a way that when it sense movement around it, it turns on. So if you are keeping it for security reasons, you can have such lights, so that when a thief, or let's say an authorized person or a person comes there in the night, it turns on. This alone can even chase them away. As part of the sensors, you can also keep lights and give it timer, so that at the early time or period in the night, it is on, but later in the night, it goes off till the morning. So doing this, you can say that's the best and recommended method. However, it depends on what works for you. If you're an experienced farmer, whatever method you think is working for you, go for that. Please, if you have watched so far and you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. And if you have been inspired, I have more educative content for you in the description. We have a DIY, that's a do-it-yourself flotation industry, so you can check it out. It is a course. We also have complete fish farming guide, which is also a course for tilapia and catfish. You can also enroll. Please subscribe. My name is Abdulaziz. It's once again, all this the channel is to share fish farm tips based on experience and research. I'm a fish farmer myself, and I provide service for people. So I share my experience and what I also learned through research. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Watch it on end screen. Bye bye.